As many of you probably know by now, Nintendo's President and CEO, Mr. Iwata, passed away on the 11th, I believe it was. He'd been quite ill for about a year with cancer. I've lost someone to cancer, as I'm guessing many of you probably have, and he finally passed away on the 11th. He was 55 years old. I know most of you probably already know this by now, and I'm hoping a lot of you have gone to Twitter and gone to social media and I don't know, just kind of paid your respects a little bit and things like that. I know, especially on YouTube, people kind of really badmouth Nintendo and things like that, but Nintendo has been a big, huge part of this industry, and without Nintendo, we probably wouldn't have a video game industry. So I know there's some of you probably far too young to even remember stuff like the N64, which many people would say was one of the last kind of great Nintendo consoles. But yeah, it's kind of left the whole industry in shock. I mean, Mr. Iwata actually worked as a programmer for many years before he became president in 2002. He worked on stuff like Kirby and Balloon Fight and I think Smash Brothers and things like that, and he'd worked on so many games, and has been a massive influence to a lot of people and a lot of developers. And all over social media today, there's been a lot of people kind of paying their respects and yeah, things like that. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I grew up with Nintendo, so it's a big kind of blow. It's very sad. It is very sad, and I would encourage you all, if you've got a Nintendo console, you know, if it's an old NES or Super Nintendo or an N64 or GameCube or whatever it is, Wii U, if it's a DS, 3DS, Game Boy, the original Game Boy, or anything like that, dig it out and go and play with it for a couple of hours, play a couple of games, and just enjoy playing a Nintendo console again, especially if you haven't played it for years. And you know, if you don't have a Nintendo console and you're really against Nintendo, then you know what, still kind of pay tribute to this man, because without him, a lot of the games that you enjoy on other consoles wouldn't exist, because people wouldn't have been encouraged to make them and things like that. Yes, gaming's lost a truly great person today. I mean, as a president of an organisation, when his company was posting losses in 2013, I believe it was, to stop any of his employees being sacked, any of the employees that being made redundant at Nintendo, he cut his own salary in half. You don't see that from anybody, really. Anybody in industry, not that I've seen anyway. He even went, I mean, one of the last things I think he did as Nintendo president, he actually apologised for Nintendo's E3 this year. Many of us didn't like it, especially Metroid. But he actually went and apologised to everybody for Nintendo's poor showing this year, which is very sad to think that then he may have passed away believing that none of us wanted to play his games or play Nintendo games, which is not true, because we all do still. I believe we all do still anyway. Anywho, I've rambled on for far too long. I hope you go and pay your respects in some way, either on Twitter or Facebook or some, you know, even if you just go and pick up your DS and play it for a couple of hours today, or for half an hour, or go and play on your Wii U, or go and play on an old Nintendo console or anything. Yeah, anyway. Until next time, stay safe, be happy, and look after one another. And I will speak to you soon. Speak to you soon.